Are environmental toxins and diet implicated in disruptive behavior and attachment issues in children? Some researchers think so. For example, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, has been linked to a number of different environmental toxins, including things like lead, tobacco, pesticides, mercury, and air pollution. Conduct disorder and other externalizing behavior problems in children have also been tied to various toxins, such as lead exposure and maternal smoking during pregnancy. Finally, autism has been linked to prenatal exposure to lead, to alcohol, to insecticides, and to mercury folate, which is a type of vitamin B. There are a couple of notable problems with environmental toxin research, however. First, its findings haven't always been replicated, and second, because it's correlational research, its results can't be used to infer cause, although admittedly people often mistakenly do, leading them to draw overly strong causal inferences that correlational studies just can't justify. Still, if environmental pollutants are associated with developmental issues, and the existing correlational research suggests they are, then taking political action to prevent toxin exposure becomes an important preventative measure that just might reduce the prevalence of autism, ADHD, and conduct issues. From a social justice perspective, decreasing exposure to toxins becomes an issue of economic inequality because environmental toxin exposure is greater among people from lower socioeconomic status backgrounds. What about diet? Numerous hypotheses about diet and ADHD have been proposed. Pediatric allergist Benjamin Feingold advanced the premise that additives in food, such as synthetic food coloring, might lead to ADHD. His famous Feingold diet eliminates food additives from the diets of kids who are diagnosed with ADHD. Similarly, those who advocate for the excessive sugar intake hypothesis maintain that eating too much refined sugar causes or worsens symptoms of ADHD. Diets based on this hypothesis restrict sugar consumption as a way to treat ADHD. Finally, PUFAs, or polyunsaturated fatty acids, are thought to potentially be involved in ADHD. So the polyunsaturated fatty acids hypothesis maintains that ADHD is caused or aggravated by PUFA deficiencies. Advocates of this hypothesis recommend giving kids a diet that enhances their PUFA intake. Now, what evidence base is there for these dietary hypotheses of ADHD? Although recent research suggests that food additives, sugar intake, and PUFA deficiencies alone probably don't cause ADHD and other conduct issues, there is some often hotly debated evidence that eliminating these things from a child's diet might sometimes reduce ADHD and other conduct issues. Of course, how much these diets reduce symptoms is a subject of ongoing debate. The quality of existing research on these hypotheses is not as strong as we'd like. Further, critics of these diets point out that implementing them can be quite difficult, sometimes generating a lot of conflict within the families that try to do so. Nonetheless, the last few years have seen renewed enthusiasm about and research into dietary interventions for ADHD. It'll be interesting to see what that research yields.